Hi guys, my name is Ted Bass and I have an Asperger syndrome. This is Asperger's coaching channel. Its intention is to help people, mostly to help people who live with ASPIS, that is, people who have Asperger syndrome, uh, parents who have kids who are ASPIS, of course, themselves, everybody interested in Asperger's, and of course, nerds, because I'm a nerd and I'm proud of it, as I usually say. Today, I'm going to talk about the superpower of adaptation in Asperger's. Yes, we Aspies have superpowers. I define superpowers as some sufficiencies in certain fields, which people with Asperger syndrome have in comparison to neurotypical population. Of course, there are also deficiencies. I usually speak about deficiencies too, but let's speak about the superpower of adaptation today. In this world, we all need to adapt. No matter if we are Aspies or we are neurotypical, we need to adapt to all sorts of situations. In society, we play roles. Yeah, roles like actors. For example, I am a father, a husband, a brother, um, a driver when I go to the street, a businessman. I have two businesses, two small businesses, and for example, sometimes I buy something, I'm a buyer, customer, sometimes I sell something, and so on. In these roles, we become different people. We have to adapt to these roles. When I am a business owner, I act differently like when I'm a father or a husband. When I'm a buyer at the store, I act differently like when I'm a driver. And we need to adapt to all the situations, all the people. But the problem is in Asperger's that we who are Aspies have difficulties in adaptation in general. Why is that? Actually, autists altogether have difficulties with adaptation. Why? These are those deficiencies I spoke previously that we have in Asperger's. Emotions. We are difficult in showing emotions, and we have difficulties in this, and we also have difficulties in reading other people's emotions. For example, when I'm in a situation when I play a social role, if I can read emotions and show emotions, it's much easier for me to play this social role and let other people understand me. If I don't have these emotions, then it's a problem because it's much more difficult for me. Communication, for example, is also uh, something a lot of Aspies lack, the power of communication. And of course, if we're a skilled communicator, then it's easy to communicate what we need to communicate in playing our social role. Aspies, therefore, have deficiency in this. Then, reading social context. If I find myself in a new situation I previously have not experienced, then it helps if I can read social contexts. And most Aspies have problem with, no, not most, but some Aspies have problems in reading social contexts. We also lack cognitive empathy. We have plenty of emotional empathy, usually more than neurotypical people, but we lack in cognitive empathy. That means that in our brain, in our reason, we cannot anticipate what kind of emotional reactions will happen in a person we communicate with. And because all of this, it's much more difficult for autists to adapt. However, we who are ASPs, so we who have Asperger syndrome, we are highly functional autists. And that in fact means that we are very skillful in adapting to certain situations. That means that we have actually the superpower of adaptation. Uh, in comparison to neurotypical people, uh, it's much more difficult for us autists to um, adapt. And because we have these deficiencies and we are highly functional, sometimes or on most occasions, people don't even notice that we are autists. And a lot of us don't even know that we are autists. I'm 50 years old and I found out that I have an Asperger syndrome when I was 48. And nobody else saw it. I accidentally read some literature on Asperger syndrome and I self diagnosed Asperger syndrome. And later, experts confirmed my diagnosis. And neurotypical people have a kind of ability of social instincts. They somehow know how to act in certain situations. We don't. We have to observe, we have to learn. And there is one more thing. The thing is that if you have social instincts, for example, if you are neurotypical, you kind of know how to behave in certain situations and you find it also natural and normal to behave in this way in social situations. We ASPs, however, are very, very different. For example, I and a lot of people I know who have Asperger syndrome would like to be very honest, very blunt, very direct. We would like to tell what we think, tell what we feel, express our opinion freely, no filter at all. But filter is adaptation because, according to my experience, those people who are neurotypical don't like this openness, don't like uh, too much, bluntness and being direct and so on. Therefore, we ASPs who want to be direct cannot do that. We have to some kind of be more, beat around the bush, not be so direct. And of course, not just be direct, but we also cannot tell everything we feel like, and that's why we have to adapt. We have to control ourselves very much. How do we learn that? By mistakes. We make a lot of mistakes, and when our surroundings tells us or shows us that this is not okay, the next time maybe our mistake is a little bit smaller and so on until we learn. We need really lots of repetition, but at the end we learn and know how to behave and act. Another thing is that I, for example, want to show no emotions because it's very tiresome to show emotions. If you look at me when I'm making these videos, my face is like stone. I have stone face, I say. And this is because I have difficulties in showing emotions. And if I could do it, I would never show emotions. That doesn't mean that I don't have emotions. I do have them, but I'm reluctant of showing them, And of course, it's very strange in neurotypical world to do that. And sometimes I show emotions, and do faces like I'm doing it right now. No, oh, yeah, of course, and so on. I do this face mimic so that my surroundings does not feel very uncomfortable. But this is all the adaptations. It's an effort for me. It's not, like something normal. And one other thing, we aspies have our own opinion of the world. We see world differently as neurotypical people, and we find some social rules silly. We are not very keen on obeying them. We do, however, because our society expects us to do that. But this is topic for the whole video, perhaps, because it's very interesting. In future, I'm going to speak about that. However, in my next video, I will speak about people with Asperger's who I believe are aliens in this world. It's going to be a very interesting video. I hope you will watch it too, and I hope you enjoy this video. Please leave comments in the sections down below, and you're very welcome to leave also some questions. Maybe if you have any problems, just write them down, and in our future videos, we will speak about that, and maybe you might find it helpful. So this is all for today. Thank you very much, and bye.